Hello and welcome to week 8 here in Psych Seminar, and we're in that sequence of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and here we are in writing. So in the last chapter, you got exposed to a research article. You found a research article, a peer-reviewed article. So we got that. Now we're moving into writing like a research psychologist, and essentially an introduction to what is known as APA style, or American Psychological Association standards for writing when you're submitting for publication. Now, one of the required books for this particular class is the APA Style Guide, small manual specifically for students, specifically for undergraduate and graduate students who are learning how to write in APA style. Now, the whole concept of APA style is around the notions of making sure that we are inclusive in our language, that we are scientific and precise in what we're describing, and that we represent numbers and data appropriately. All of those things are the goals associated with a particular style of writing that is technical in nature, although there's certainly room for creativity, that gives credit to where information comes from, uses inclusive language, is open, is descriptive, is non-egotistical, those kinds of things. And for the sake of our learning of this process, the learning of APA style is a long process. It's not just like learning how to use, a new appliance. It is something that will evolve over your entire college career. And so at this point, what I'm going to be focusing on is the title page, in-text citations, and references, the last page. So I'm going to describe that in just a little bit. So first off, in the discussion for this week, I'm asking you to go back, look at your Chapter 5 assignment, and then find, either using ChatGPT, like I say in the instructions, or you can go online, or you can use EBSCO, again, to find a newspaper article, specifically a newspaper. It might be an online newspaper, but you find a newspaper, not a magazine, not a blog, none of that stuff. Find a newspaper article about a similar, the same topic, as similar as you can get it. And have a discussion about the differences between those, about how language is different in this article, really gearing toward other professionals, and then another article written in the newspaper geared toward a general audience, and see how they present those things differently. Now, the assignment is also related to that same idea. Now, to avoid having you do an entire research paper in order to demonstrate and practice your APA writing skills, I'm simply going to have you compare and contrast, look at the similarities and differences, and discuss the differences between your Chapter 5 assignment article and the newspaper article, the very same topic that you just discussed in the Chapter 6 discussion. You're going to write that out. Write it in, kind of a good format of writing style, presenting the similarities and differences between those. But that's the content that I'm going to have you write about, but I'm going to be focusing on the APA elements. The first element is the construction of the title page, which is the first page in your document. It's not a separate file. There's no fancy things on it. Don't use those fancy title pages. It's boring. It's meant to be boring. The only thing that should be exciting is your message. So you have a title page with elements in it that you will research, the elements that need to be in your title page in the APA style guide that you have. You are then going to, starting on page 2, you are going to write your document. 12-point font, Times New Roman, double spaced, regular margins, no extra spaces. It's just really, really plain stuff. First word on each paragraph is indented. And when you present information from either one of your sources, say you're using an example in one of your comparisons, and you put an example from the paper versus one from the newspaper, you will cite those sources in the context of your writing using a tool called in-text citations. Please refer to your APA style guide on how to write in-text citations. You will write that paper out, and once all your writing is done, you then start a new page, and on the top of this page you put references. Not works cited, not bibliography, it's references. All double spaced. You will then provide the APA formatted reference for your original article from Chapter 5 and the newspaper article. To learn how to write and format a APA reference, please refer to the APA style guide that you know. All of that information is in there. So this is really a matter of you understanding the goal that you have to do a title page. You have to write a document that makes sense, makes a presentation of information, comparing and contrasting similarities and differences between a peer-reviewed article and a newspaper article on the same topic, and then with in-text citations, and then the last part of your paper being 2 APA style references in. Now that you're going to notice that last page, those references, the paragraph formatting is a little different. It's called hanging indent. And what that means is the first line is all the way to the left, and all the other lines are indented 5 spaces, kind of the opposite of a regular paragraph. Okay, so you have the full line going across, then the second, and if there's a third one, those are the ones that are indented. No extra space between that and the second one. And I know people are going to want to do that. It looks better. It even looks better if I do like single space and then a double space, then single space. Just looks cooler. That's going to be wrong. Do it like it says in the APA manual. This is an exercise in kind of very detailed, I was going to say OCD, but I shouldn't make fun of people who may have OCDs. I'm simply going to say it's going to be detail oriented. This is a specific style of writing that you want to master as you make your way through the rest of your college career. All your papers in social sciences and most of the courses here at KVCC will require you to write things in APA style. Most people don't quite understand what that means, even though they require it, but I do. It was my field that came up with them. So that's the assignment. So it builds on the article that you've already read for Chapter 5, a newspaper article, a discussion comparing and contrast, and then a paper comparing and contrasting your particular article and newspaper. This is a detail-oriented thing. So this is how the grading is going to work. I'm going to look at your assignment when it comes in, and I'm going to mark it all up. And if there's changes that need to be made, I will be giving you a 0. No partial credit. It's a 0. You will then do it again and fix the things that I have marked on there. And if there's any new marks on the second one, you're going to get a 0. And then it's going to go back to you, and then you fix it again until it's perfect. So it's an all or none mastery assignment. I think it's the only one pretty much in this whole class. So you have to get it perfect. And I will be nitpicky about that. The due date for your first submission is this week. That assignment will remain open until you have 100% on it. Don't worry about the due dates. Try to get it done. Don't wait till the end of the semester. Try to get it done, but you can just submit until you get it perfect. It's good to be able to learn how to do that too. There were 47 revisions of my dissertation. Back when I did a paper in undergraduate, I had 30-something revisions of a paper that I did in undergraduate. So that's crazy to make everything perfect. Margins, all of that stuff. But the only three elements that I focus in these first 2 years of school, really, is the title page, in-text citations, and the references. Get that down. Pretty much after that, a lot of it is writing style. Like really, how do you put paragraphs together? How are you clear about your writing? And I want you to do that too. If you don't make any sense in your writing, I'm going to have you rewrite it. This is a primary form of communication within the field, is in writing. And having a good ability to write clearly is incredibly valuable. So we're going to work on that this week. So this is the writing component. So we had reading, writing. Next week, we're going to get into a little bit of statistics. So I look forward to seeing the discussion, to see where you see those big differences between peer-reviewed articles and newspaper articles, and get involved in that discussion. And of course, for some of you, maybe your first adventure into this whole world of APA writing style. So take care, have a great week, and I will see you then.